Yes. All right. Hey. This is David Bradley. I am the Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant. Thank you so much for tuning in to this short interview. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to Manny. Manny is the head of our client performance division. So if you're watching this and you are a business owner or you're a manager, you're in a leadership position in a company, and you're considering Cardone University, you may be wondering to yourself, like, so we sign up, then what, right? Is this program a turnkey? Is there any support that comes with it? How do we get a client rolling? And then how do we support them moving forward? So I want to have Manny talk a little bit about that. One of the things that's important for us on a company level, though, is, and if you've read the Close of Survival Guide, you'll know this, but we talk a lot about the winner's exchange. And that's a company value for us. It's not just enough to sell a product to somebody. Wouldn't you agree, Manny?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
completely.
it's not until a client not only has the product, but they're using the product, but even that's not enough. Not only do we want somebody to use our product, but we need them to win with it. We need successes with the product. And so we built this entire client support division to specifically help make sure that we follow through on one of Grant's principles, which is the winner's exchange. So why don't you introduce yourself, Manny? Tell the kids at home who you are and what you do and why you do it.
Awesome. So Manny Melas, I run the performance management department here at Grant Cardone's office. And in terms of why I do it, I've been following Grant for a few years. I actually ran a business in New York, a door-to-door sales office for about 4 years. And I followed Grant throughout that time, and that business eventually closed down. I moved down here to Florida, saw the opportunity with Grant, and figured, hey, why not give this a shot? And, Grant just helps me get my mind right about my future, what I want for my family. I've always had a goal-oriented mentality, and this just helps. It's healthy for me. It's healthy for my future.
No, I love that. So let's just get into the nitty-gritty, because that's really what people are probably interested in. So let's just say I'm a client. I sign up with Cardone University, or I get on board with Cardone On Demand. Then what? What happens?
So once you sign up with Cardone On Demand, you would get passed on to my team. Right. And we're the team that not only supports you throughout your whole relationship with us, but we also make sure that you're taken care of during the onboarding phase. I like to look at it like we're almost like raising a child, so in the beginning, we're there even more often holding your hand along the way. So we do the initial management launch, we call it, like the onboarding call. And we show our clients not only where to go and how to get results off the program, but how the reporting works, how the management meetings work. We make sure you have a rundown of everything, and not only that, but how to use it. And then once that happens, then we schedule a sales launch, and the salesperson would run a meeting for your sales team. Okay. They make sure they're pumped up and ready to go, and also know what they're doing on the program.
And that's a totally separate call, right? Like the way a manager is going to approach it versus how a salesperson is going to approach it. They're two very different things, right?
Yeah, the management call is a lot more about the accountability of things. So a lot of managers think, well, how do I know my guys are going to use this? Well, we have all the systems in place to make that really easy for you. So that initial management call is more about, hey, what's the training standard? When does the team complete it by? What do I do if they don't do it? We answer all those questions and give you the systems from clients that do this every single day.
What I think is really awesome about your department in general, too, is that when you talk about accountability, there's two different levels of accountability, right? So there's our accountability to the client to make sure that they win with it, right? But then there's also, how do we as an organization help the leadership hold their people accountable to using the program?
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of our favorite parts.
So talk a little bit about that. Why is that a favorite part?
Well, I think accountability is important. And, you'd be surprised how many companies sign up with us that don't really have much of an accountability structure. And they don't really know what to do when their team doesn't follow the rules, or if they even have the rules.
Right.
So
put that structure in play. What does that do for them? How does that help?
Well, I think anytime you add structure to a company, your standards are automatically going to raise along with the total sales, because you're raising the bar and people have to live up to that bar. And if there's no standards or structure, people feel out of place. They feel like, they're showing up to work with no real target.
Right on. Like when people, even on the other team, were playing against Michael Jordan and the Bulls, the other team played better just because they were with Jordan, because he held everybody to this higher standard.
Yep. Yep. It's like the 7-minute mile story.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
the first person did it, and then,
And
you know,
snowballs.
the rest is history. Yep.
Exactly. All right, so somebody signs up. The managers get taught how to use the program. We run them through everything that they need so that they can help their people get better, hold everybody accountable. We hold ourselves accountable to hold them accountable, right? And
Right.
then what? So they're on the program. Let's say somebody decides to do a 36-month program with us. They're going to be using our content for the next 36 months. How do we make sure that they stay on it for that long? I mean, the number one reason I get from the sales side is I don't think my people are going to use the program, right? So
Right.
what do we do to make sure that it stays fresh, that it's engaging, that people are on top of it? How do we support people?
It's like any relationship, you know, we got to make sure it stays fresh. And that's one thing we do constantly. So like you said earlier, service is a big part of the winner's exchange. We have to make sure that our clients are actually getting a result from it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's selfish and selfless because we want to help them, but then we could also say, hey, take a look at this client and look at what we did.
Right.
Right. And that adds more to our belt too. But in terms of support, we do bi-weekly or monthly calls with every single client. And those calls not only look at usage, because the reporting that we have makes it super easy to see, okay, who actually used this thing and who didn't. We can not only look at usage, but we can help you with picking up your revenue targets, your sales targets, and actually meeting them.
You have like a really good example of like a real case study or a real scenario where we've been able to look at somebody's target, isolate what that is, and then help them like close that gap between where they are and where they want to be?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We had a client actually visit the office today, and they actually are involved in real estate. They're up in Canada, and their average months were about 300K a month. And after using the university for a few months and having our coaching calls once a month, now their average is about 500K a month.
Wow.
Right. So that's just the first example I thought of. My team is responsible for presenting one success story every single day. So that's how many we actually have. Every single day in our morning meeting, we give one success story.
And I love the fact that if anybody goes to cardoneuniversity.com/case studies, they can actually see these things broken down with actual tangible results that we've been able to help our clients produce in a very, very short period of time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all types of case studies. You got people that saw results within 2 weeks, and then you have some people that have been on for a year and saw massive improvement. So it's all types of clients too.
One of my favorites is Ballroom X, because you would never like expect to have like a ballroom dance company actually be or have a sales team or have sales people. And the fact that in a very, very short period of time, not only did they double their price, but they doubled their closing ratio as a result, which to me is like,
yeah. Well, some of them aren't even sales related too. A lot of them are, you know, reducing turnover.
right.
You know, if you ask a company, hey, how much are you really spending by losing people? I mean, it's a lot if you add it up. And so even being able to reduce that turnover helps too.
And that's great. How does the program from your side of things? I know what I've seen, but from what you've seen, how does Cardone U actually help reduce turnover?
Well, I think it's similar to what we said before about just having structure and accountability. It raises the bar, and people want that. Even though a lot of people are scared of that, they're attracted to that. They want to get better themselves, and they want to be somewhere where they're held to a standard. So if there is a way, not only are they held to a higher standard, but they're learning from it, right? I mean, why would you leave? If you're making more money from this training and you're learning constantly, right, and you're held to high standards, I mean, there's no reason to leave.
There's nowhere to go, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. So when people are winning, they tend to win more, right? And they stay. Yeah. So the one thing I was just a little curious about is you mentioned that you can either do a bi-monthly call or a monthly call. Now, is that up to the client, or what's the difference there?
We talk it through, you know, so in the beginning, especially in the first few months, it's bi-weekly. Okay. We want to make sure we have way more contact. But then after the client is consistent with the training, they're using sales meetings, they're role playing, and they're just like all-stars, then we can move it to monthly.
Have you ever seen a case where we've gone to monthly and then we started noticing that it was we were losing it a little bit, so we went back to bi-weekly?
Yeah, that happens too. But, it's not even a set switch. Hey, monthly to biweekly. We just notice that and we give it a little bit more attention. So we might give you some more calls and emails trying to show you the reporting and think of a game plan.
Cool, cool, cool. So I hope I'm sounds like we've probably covered most of the gist. Is there anything that I missed or anything that you want to make sure that people watching this actually have to take with them about your department, about what you guys do?
I mean, just that we're here, so I think a lot of times, I think the salespeople do a great job selling the product, but, I think that what they could talk about as well is the service they're going to get. You have a whole team here of, right now, like 12 people where every single day their sole purpose is to make sure people are winning on the program.
Right.
And a lot of companies don't have that. And the ones that do, a lot of times they charge extra for it.
Yeah, and it's part of our deal. It's included in the program because of that winners exchange being so valuable to us. I like to joke with clients about I believe that the most expensive coat hanger in the world is a Bowflex.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You're sitting up late at night on TV. You're watching the commercial. You see the ripped abs. You see the big shoulders and the nice body. You order the thing. It goes in your garage. You set it up. You use it for a little bit, and then life gets in the way. And the next thing your wife, she's drying her pantyhose from it, or whatever. And so, like, the last thing I want to sell somebody is a Bowflex, because that program comes that deal comes with zero support, right? So
yeah,
you're totally on your own. And the last thing I want a client that's even considering our program to think is that this is just another Bowflex. This is just another thing that we've tried in the past. It didn't quite work the way we wanted it to. That when you decide to get on board with us, it's a partnership. It's a relationship. Every step of the way, whether you're with us for 12 months or 36 months, that we are here to make sure that this program is not just something that teaches people how to sell better, but actually produces a tangible result. The purpose of sales training is to increase sales. And if it's not doing that, then we're not doing our job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And to use a similar analogy, if you get a gym membership and you stop going, which I think probably 90% of people do, they don't give you a call and say, hey, you haven't come to the gym. What's going on? They're collecting your money. That's all they care about. Right. But with us, yes, we're collecting the money, but if you don't show up, if you're not using the program, you're getting calls. You're getting calls, emails, texts. We want to make you better.
I love it. I love it. So for those of you that are watching, if you have not had a chance to take a look at Cardone University and you want to do so, please feel free to give me a call. My name is David Bradley. You can reach me at 310-777-0352. If you're already on the program and you need help, Manny, what's the best number?
310-777-0255. Manny Melas, or anyone in the client performance team.
Right on. Cool. Well, hey, Manny, I totally appreciate you pushing pause on your day. I know how busy you are helping our clients to just get this once over, get this overview of your department over there. Appreciate you a lot. Love what you guys do over there, and thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Right on.